Hello and welcome to another Dev Chat. I am CCP Monty, joined today by CCP Stroopwafel. Everybody's thinking a little bit of caramel now, I guess. CCP Zelus is here with us, and then we have CCP Troglodyte. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Howdy.
Great to be here.
Yeah. It's I'm in the presence of greatness here because today we are talking to the people responsible to bringing the ESI back to the glory that it should be at. And guys, let's just jump right in. We have the Eve Evolved updates coming out, and one of the updates that players might not immediately maybe see, not all of them, is that the ESI has been getting a lot of love, a lot of updates coming there. Some of them overdue. Let's talk about it as is. But if I throw it over to you guys, what is it and why was it necessary to bring the ESI up to date?
Well, I can start with the why and then probably hand it over to Stroopwafel to talk about the what, because that's the split of responsibilities that we generally have. For starters, CSI is an integral part of the EVE experience, right?
Maybe let's start by telling people what it is, because it's an acronym. Early support indicator or something, could somebody think? I don't know. EVE, seriously, something. I didn't have a good eye.
Yeah.
Spaceship indicator? Right,
Emergency spaceship indicator. Yes, this is the emergency spaceship indicator podcast.
There's one right here.
Yeah.
Fire the ESI.
Yes. That's a very difficult question because it used to stand for EVE Swagger Interface. And Swagger being a framework that we no longer use, we don't know what it stands for anymore.
You only need to look at CCP Zelus and you think Swagger.
Yeah.
Hey.
So if you care to go to developers.eveonline.com and read some of the latest developer blog posts over there, we have had a few working versions of what ESI could stand for, and we are, of course, always listening to our community. So if more brilliant ideas come in, we might as well consider a small rebrand.
But what is it?
It is a large set of APIs, of programming interfaces that allow people to build applications that talk to the universe of New Eden. You can get data about your characters, you can get data about the universe, you can get data about your friends, your corporations, your enemies, your kills, pretty much anything. And you can also manage some of those things without actually being logged into the client, which makes it easier and more efficient for you to manage
So the
yourself.
ESI is basically the connection and that enables all the third-party tools that you might be using, be that the kill boards, be that mapping tools, authenticators, and such.
Yes. Or as CCP Berger put it on FanFest, was it the lifeline to New Eden?
Wow.
I hope I didn't mangle it.
I mean, it's a cool. So
Berger knows how to name things.
Convict tends to come on here, and he throws like some quote, and I never Google if it's right or anything like that. He just makes it sound really true. Might be bullshit, but so I'll take that one.
To first create the universe, you must create an API to support it. There you go.
I'm writing them down.
Great marketing material.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
You're going to see that on the website.
So yeah, but so what have we been doing now to get it up to standard? Because up to standard maybe isn't the right word, but it just hadn't been. It was something that was just built. It was created. It had a lot of connections, but then EVE is continuously growing. There's continuously things happening, and basically there wasn't a dedicated effort to grow it until recently, and then there was some cleanup needed.
Yeah. Stroop, you want to handle that?
So
You've seen more of that story.
So the first APIs that EVE Online had dates back to around 2004, 2005. It wasn't really an API. People were just scraping the website for information so they could build EVEMON, and that turned out to be a real thing.
Still do.
And as that went on, we realized that we really needed to have a fixed interface for that, because it wasn't really the best way of going about it. So we set out to make what ended up being the XML API. As time grew on, we realized that the XML API needed to grow and couldn't grow in its current format. So we built Crest, which was a JSON REST interface for the technical people. And as that evolved, we ended up with what turned out to become ESI. ESI is somewhat similar to the old Crest, but using a set standard of defining how you talk to us and how we talk to you. This was built in 2016, if memory serves me well. And it worked, but after a while, we didn't really give it as much love as we wanted to. So we didn't really add new functionality where there was new functionality added to the game. So yeah, Easy stagnated a tiny bit. So starting this year, we created a new team with myself, with CCP Troglodyte, with CCP Pinky, and a few others to revamp ESI, to bring it up to standards again, bring the standards that we were using up a notch or two, so that we can have an interface that can span the next decade. One of the main things that we want to do is part of the broader message that we have with Eve, is that we want to build Eve for forever. So ESI also needs to be in a state where we can start supporting it forever. And that needed a bunch of foundational work, which we've been doing the past 6 months. As some would have read on the developers website, we've pretty much replaced a large part of our core infrastructure while ESI was running. So that was a pretty fun project to be part of. And now we are getting to the point where we can start adding functionality. And that is part of what this Eve Evolved devblog is about, is the first launch of the first new functionality. And as that goes, we can start evolving on that even more.
What kind of what were like the biggest pain points that you came across when you started the journey of kind of getting it up to speed, getting it back to well, this timeline?
So the main pain points that we had weren't so much that what ESI was doing was bad, or that it was not working. It was working fine, except that we needed to revamp a lot of stuff, and we needed to do it while we kept supporting the current ESI. So basically, what we keep saying is we have to replace an engine on a car that's going 200 kilometers an hour on a highway with like several thousand people in the back. You can't just yank something out and then crash it somewhere and then think everything will be fine, because during that time, nobody will be able to use ESI, and that's something that we want to avoid at all costs.
And let's face it, when the third-party tools that people are used to using always, like the training wheels, suddenly fall off, there's a lot of noise.
There can be, yes.
And
Yes.
like if ESI alone explodes while we're working on it, that's actually fine. But like it's wired so deeply into Eve's infrastructure that we've had quite a few cases where it's just not it's not just the third party interface that falls over; it's the entire server.
Let's not do that.
Yes, we try to avoid it as much as possible, because you don't want to destroy the universe while you're working on a corporation management tool. It's unpleasant.
So it makes sense from a troglodyte, but a Stroopwafel destroying the universe is a little bit less something
It's
I'd expect.
it's bittersweet.
It's bittersweet. Okay,
Yes.
but if we look at the update now, what are the most kind of important updates or fixes that are being pushed basically as we speak?
So one of the big things that we've been doing is offloading where we get our information from. A lot of the parts of ESI directly talk to the game server to get information, which means that if ESI is misbehaving, you can notice things in game. That's something we don't want. We also don't want the reverse to happen, like that when in game something is going on, like a very big fight, that ESI suddenly slows down. Neither is really a situation that we want to be in. So we've been working closely with the data team that we have at CCP to directly access their copy of the universe so that we can pretty much destroy that without destroying Eve. We obviously don't want to, but it's good to know that if something goes wrong, you don't, well, get 1,000 angry Eve nerds banging on your door saying, "What did you do?" Because that's awkward.
How did
Stroop,
that
let's
conversation go? That like, hi data team, can I destroy your databases, please?
Well,
To their credit, it almost went the other way around.
Okay.
Because the data team was like, "Hey, we have a cool data warehouse with terabytes of data that you could use. Would you like to use it?" So yeah, we jumped on it, and yeah, it's to my previous point, us not getting the data and trying to like run crazy queries on the service database is a benefit because we're kind of not stressing Eve as a whole. But also that brings us a lot of benefits in terms of like how data is summarized and what we can actually get access to. And yeah, these updates are kind of our first careful steps in that direction. We can do a lot of cool stuff with it.
And talking about cool stuff, there's some additions now. There's some new data points that can be picked up, and well, it's a little bit hard because we're essentially talking about building the highway, and we're just telling you what lanes are there. Then we need to see what happens with it. So it's not like, oh, look at this new shiny toy, but there's some new stuff now being implemented, and one of the biggest ones being the corporation projects and such.
yeah. So this current release, we will be introducing a set of routes for corporation projects where people can access their corporation projects, can see the progress of their core projects. We don't have anything to create core projects yet, but that is something we want to explore.
So looking at then being able to bulk create or something like that for
So,
like larger corporations.
yes, so that corporations or very inventive people can create and manage their core projects without having to be in Eve. Um, Obviously, ESI has to have a halo effect to getting people in game because that's what it's there for. But a lot of the tedium when it comes to managing corporations and managing alliance and managing projects, that is some of the stuff that we want to alleviate. Um, the past 2 weeks, we've been working with a set of Eve partnership program partners, um, where we basically gave them early access to the core project routes on ESI, and they've been basically let loose. We told them like, have fun, go nuts. It's not going to go live until it's going to go live, so you can't actually release anything, but you can play with it. You can tell us what you think of it. You can give us feedback, and we can iterate on that, which we've been doing heavily the past 2 weeks. And then you have people like Noah's, who's building Rift, who's already shown us some work in progress stuff that he's been building during this early access period, um, which is looking very, very promising. And that's exactly what we want to see when we bring out new functionality to ESI. Just people piling onto it, creating new stuff, either trying to recreate what is in game, but also going the exact opposite, where they create new and innovative ways to working with the data that we provide them.
Yeah, we haven't had a lack of innovation when it comes to like we build a road to somewhere, but it seems to lead to 150 different locations once everything gets added onto it.
Yeah,
I think that's part of the fun of just app development in general as well, because it's always a case of this person has thought up this unique idea of how to develop this new thing, and I just want to try and experiment with it and see if I can make a tool that other people might use as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. It's super interesting, and what there's a lot of things that I, for example, interact with on a daily basis without even really thinking about it. And like you mentioned, Rift there, one of the absolute coolest tools I've come across on my journey through New Eden. On that question though, do you guys have like a tool that is was developed by somebody outside that you keep close to heart, that you use a lot?
there's several. There's the EveRef website, which basically indexes a lot of the stuff in Eve. When you're developing, sometimes you have to look something up, and it's sometimes easier to just have somebody else make a nice website for you, so you don't have to. And you're like, okay, I need that ID, fine, let's use it. Places like Zkill and Eve, who Rift, of course, but also Pyfa and Eve Fit. There's just tools that we use on a daily basis because we also play the game. So we're also consumers of the tools that we help create by creating ESI, which makes it really fun.
Yeah, that's one of the funny things I noticed after I joined the team, was that especially those who are active players, how quickly they just reach to the same tools as you would when playing the game when you need some information. Zelus, with one of the things that you discussed at last FunFest was this future of where we see, hopefully more player-run tournaments and such. The ESI is, and these updates to it to make it easier to basically implement new data and such, they're going to play a huge part in that.
Yeah, there's so many little options. As Stroopwafel was just saying as well, like when you're just doing tournament, like preparing for tournaments, just things like Pyfa, there's an equivalent in the tournament community called Theory Crafter, which uses a similar kind of setup, but allows team comps to be made around the actual point system that we're using in tournaments, for example. And so you can build up a team of 10, and you can allocate like who's going to be on what particular ship and duty. But in tournaments in general, it also means things like there's the prospect of being able to make team management tools, so you'll be able to integrate, I want to list these particular people in my team, and then you can potentially then push fits to them, or just who you want on your roster, right? There's so many potentials there. Arena matches, in terms of being able to potentially record data in matches and being able to replay that in some way, shape, or form would be absolutely amazing. It brings so much potential for just organizing and just general management for tournaments.
There's two things I kind of want to touch on before we wrap things up. On this topic, as you were mentioning there, Silas, where there are opportunities and such. Can you guys give us a little bit of an insight into what we could expect moving forward? Are we seeing regular cadences of new data being implemented, or new use cases and such? Or is there still continuing development mostly on optimizing, making it just stable and fast? Or is there new stuff coming continuously now moving forward?
It is going to be a bit of both. We still have quite a few things that we want to do to ESI itself to make it more modern, more stable, more usable. We want to add better rate limiting. We want to add we want to rework SDE. Those who have dealt with SDE know that it is it's been wobbly. Let's put it that way. So there's a lot of stuff that we want to do on the platform, but as we now deploy corporation projects, which we all kind of internally agree is probably the most complex thing on the roadmap that we could have tackled, which is why it took quite a bit of time to set up, but it also makes subsequent updates easier. Right after we deploy corporation projects, we're going to switch over to freelance jobs, which is going to bring even more kind of organization and management tools into your collective toolboxes. By that time, also we have partners coming up with their applications, and we're getting an update for our Excel add-in because we heard you like spreadsheets, so we put the spreadsheet game into your spreadsheet so you can spreadsheet. We have so first of all, we need to catch up, right? So we have some sovereignty updates that are missing from EC. We would like to add the Paragon Hub or some of its features into EC as well to help you manage your assets, your trading, your various aspects of your business and that should take us a few months, and then maybe it's the next Eve Evolved, and then on the next podcast we can talk about the longer term roadmap. We need to see what the cadence is going to be now that we have the tools at our disposal internally.
Okay,
but yeah, watch for updates on the developer blog. We post there regularly, and interesting stuff will come up.
Last, how, if somebody is watching this and is interested in getting involved, starting to look into building and such, what are the steps needed? What do I do?
Go to developers.evenline.com. All of the information is there. We have a community-sourced list of applications that people have built, including Rift, Skillboard, Dotlan, and everyone else. So you can see what is in use. All of the API documentation is in there, including quick start guides and everything. Also be sure to join the Discord. EVE Online official Discord that has a channel for third-party development. And in order to start developing, you need to get an API key. For that, you need an active account. You need to agree to some documentation and a couple of other identity checks that we perform.
So developers.eveonline.com.
Yes,
basically.
the best place to go. Yes,
best place to start. Zelus, Stroopwafel, anything you guys want to add?
Stroop, do you want to go first?
Yeah, but there's not much to add. Troglodyte pretty much covered all of it. The EVE Online Discord is a very active place with a lot of people. If people get really active with their applications, I also highly recommend the EVE Partnership Program. There's a bunch of really cool people in the partnership program that are more than helpful with their peers on getting stuff sorted. It's a really friendly group, and I really like working with them.
Awesome. I mean, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. There's a fantastic community out there of third-party developers that are always keen to help out other third-party developers as well. So even if it's like, I have this idea, and then you kind of explain what your idea is, and most of them will give you suggestions as to how you might even implement those. So big shout out to EVE Online Discord as well for that third-party app development channel. The developers website also has a blog on there as well, which keeps you all up to date with everything from the SDE to development for any third-party changes. But yeah, looking forward to more ways of being able to play EVE Online offline via apps in the future.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And a major shout out to all the builders already building out there. It's they're true MVPs. Guys, thank you so much for dropping by. And yeah, I look forward to overloading the ESI with pull requests of all sorts of data in the coming months. Thanks, guys.
See ya.